YouTube. We're looking at the Helix from TC Electronic. I just filmed the Alter Ego vintage delay, which has a lot of options and requires, well, you know, a long-ass video. This is, luckily, still only really long. Sorry, that's what she said. It's the Helix phaser, and it has more controls than the standard phaser. You know the standard phaser, right? It's this puppy. In the vintage phase, MXR, something like that. And, so usually it's speed, or speeder. But this has speed, depth, feedback, and mix, which is very nice. It gives you a lot more options. So, there's pretty much two modes. There's vintage and smooth. And, of course, the Toneprint option. But we're gonna go into what Toneprint is and how to do it later. Oh, we also have to give it power, I guess. Power is important. Let's see what vintage sounds like all the way up. Very subtle. Vintage, I can tell you right away, is the more subtle mode. Much more resonance there. Oh, setup. Quenzel M3 into the Carl Martin Custom Shop 50, but in front of it, of course, is the Helix phaser, and behind it is in Uchimata from Master Effects from Canada, which sounds like this. For some distorty stuff. So we're gonna go back to the vintage mode. Very nice and subtle if you wanted that Eddie Van Halen tiny bit of fade. Let's crank up depth and mix all the way. And let's try smooth. Faster and much wilder. Let's call this the more modern sound, and of course, the other one's the vintage. But there's obviously a lot more stuff behind the curtain. The curtains! You know what? We're gonna do a fun thing. This is the MXR vintage 1974 phaser. It is so vintage that it is hand wired. The PCB inside will fall out once you open it, but it's not secured in any way. There's no LED, there's no 9-volt DC input. This is exactly to the specs of one from 74. And, well, it's a vintage phaser. Super analog. $150. Let's compare. New versus old versus new. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna just wire that in. Right in front of it, and then we can go A-B, huh? I don't need power because it doesn't give me power. So let's see. We're gonna go to vintage. Kinda slow. And now MXR. I know this is gonna be weird, but I'm saying the Helix sounds warmer. The dampening in the high frequency seems to be a little bit more, which of course you can fix in the Toneprint editor. Now the Helix. Sorry. Sounds the same to me. Helix can do a little bit more than that. Anything else you want to know? Or maybe smooth with some distortion, huh? Oh, gotta turn it on. For those crazy sounds. What is left to do now is, we've compared it to a true classic. What's left to do is look at the Toneprint stuff and listen to it in stereo, which means, I gotta do a stereo setup. But here we do in-depth demos, which means, I gotta do it! Gotta do it! Frickin' TC Electronic is not making it easy for people like me to give you an overview over all the features of the pedals, because even though they're small, they frickin' pack a shitload of features. So, either I, cut some, or I show them all, which is what we're doing. So, stereo! What I'm doing, I don't know if you can actually go into the mono input and it stereofies it and then gives you a stereo signal. Well, we can actually try this. But what I'm doing is I'm going into my Strymon Deco mono, which then splits it into stereo anyway. And where am I going? I'm going into these amps right there, which are my two Carl Martin Bandmate 15 from the Roadie series. They are extremely nice amps, and in front of them there are the deflects, which are there so that I don't get the beam in my ear. They're amazing. Get some. Live, you will have the best freaking sound ever. Also, in your practice room, deflects, way to go. So, here is our sound left and right, the same kind of, without any effects. let's do that with some tape saturation from the deco. So what I want to know is, well, it obviously works. What I want to know is what happens if you only go in mono. Will it stereoify it for you? I assume it will. So we're going to pull the right plug. So we're going in mono now. And there you have it, Helix Stereo. So you've all heard me say, what am I going? You've all heard me say Toneprint. You've heard people read Toneprint. You've heard about beaming up, Scotty, beaming sounds from your cell phone, from your mobile, through the pickups to your pedal. I've heard a couple years about that. I thought that's a stupid gimmick. Could be cool, but it's a gimmick. It's way more than that. But let's start in a different way. You see all these, you see pretty basic controls on the Helix and other Toneprint capable pedals by TC. Right here we've got a speed, depth, mix, and feedback, which is already a lot for a phaser. But why do these artists, famous people, have their own Toneprints? Well, I could just go and fiddle around with these 4 controls and get whatever they got. Wrong. There is a magic world behind the curtain, and that curtain is the Toneprint editor. So once you actually get your pedal with the supplied USB cable that comes with it, hook it up to your PC or Mac, and get into the Toneprint editor, there's a lot more you can do with it. There's more algorithms than just the vintage and the smooth, I have a lisp, smooth. And I'm going to show you some of this. So right now the Toneprint editor says connect the pedal. Once I do this, there's going to be some serious noise because of some ground hum something USB with the computer. Just ignore that. There you go. And bam, there is the pedal. It's that easy. I didn't install any drivers or whatever. Hook it up, there it is. I've never had an experience that's just this easy. So right now it's showing me that on the speed knob, there's speed. On the depth knob, there's depth. On the feedback knob, there's phaser feedback. And on the mix knob, there is the wet. The funny thing is, if I wanted to, I could make it go wetter and then drier again. For some reason. Crazy. You can totally draw your own curve on each of these parameters if you wanted to. You could go logarithmic, so it goes wet, wet, wet. You have very, very nice control, very detailed control, and all of a sudden in the very end, bam, wet. But in addition to the dry-wet control, I could also add something else to it. I could add the range to it. Let's say linear. And now the same knob does two things. Here you see the different algorithms. Let's go to this. Of course, I can edit it with the mouse if I wanted to. Phase right, well, I don't even know what all this stuff does. Out level, high cut, dampening, we want some of that. And I could just store it to the pedal and then it's in my Toneprint slot. It's that easy. Obviously, as you can see here, there's the retro jet. Which you then can edit and store to the pedal, to the one Toneprint slot. Whether you can actually have these with you on your mobile device, I do not know. But a lot of options, and each of these knobs, as I said, can have 3 different parameters in whatever curve you want. Also in here, we can go and select from the product the Helix phaser. And I could go and get not Van Halen from my friend Devin Townsend and say send to pedal. Pretty aggressive. So what I can do now is, I think I have to do that, store to pedal so that it's actually in there. No, wait, that's not what I wanted this. Okay, I'm not getting what I'm doing right here. I gotta be on Toneprint, I guess. Let's see if I disconnect it now, if it's still there. Yes, it is. And there's my Devin Townsend sound. Well, that's one way to do it. Through the Toneprint editor, there's a lot of stuff to discover here. But another way is through your phone. And that's crazy. And I recorded a little bit of my phone right there. So you turn it on, as you would. And you open the Toneprint editor. And I like to go by product. And then you go to the beautiful yellow Helix phaser. And then you pick whatever you want. So we already had the Devin Townsend sound. I don't know which one I showed in the little video that you see there. Hey, that's for bass, but let's try the E-Funk Sexy Phase. So make sure you're on the right pickup. And you just beam it over there. Yes, you take your speaker of your phone onto your pickup. It makes that kind of fax sound. Your pedal lights up when you're on the Toneprint. You have to be on TP. TP. What else do we have? Jason Hook, no idea. And we beam it like this. And we're there. Frickin' doorbell. So, this is insane. Putting new sounds on your pedal with your phone. Completely crazy. So, really can't show you any more than I've done. Here's my 2 cents. So my 2 cents about the Helix. The Helix. I think it's great. I mean, you've heard it compared with the Classic. If you're into the complete analog stuff, and you want it fully analog, you don't want USB, you don't want to go through menus, and you just need one phaser sound, this might be overkill. The parameters might scare you. The whole Toneprint thing with the phone might be too high tech. And I can understand that. You want to pedal, you want to put it on your board, you want 1, 2, or 3 parameters, and you can do that with a different pedal. But if you're into fiddling around with stuff and, you know, going a little bit deeper, this is insane. You can, of course, put it on your board, one setting and you're done. But if you want to go deeper, this is absolutely great. And technically it gives you, you've seen the back end, it gives you a lot of options that you would usually only have in big rack-mounted multi-effects. So this will open the world to any phaser sound that you ever wanted and that you ever, never did ever want. What? Huh? Then of course there's the stereo. The stereo effect. Which is way cool. I mean, how many phasers on the market really do a swooshy kind of stereo? I'm highly impressed with what TC is putting out here. So should you be. And for the price, I don't even know how much this is. I can tell you, $150, something like that. It's absolutely great and it's fun to play. And there's nothing bad I can say about it. From how the feet still allow you to put Velcro on it, from how you open the back with only one big screw and a piece of, a coin, to the soft click switch, everything. TC makes insane pedals, and this is another one in the line. If you're in the market for a phaser and you want options, get the Helix. That's all I can say.